spent a year and a half every single day posting my outfit of the day. That then spurred me on to this different realm of, rather than designing the clothes, to actually style the clothes. That colour of red is going to give you that impact, confidence. And that's one thing that I always do with my clients, how to weave in colour psychology. One of my biggest ones was last year, when I wasn't even a year into my business. I applied to speak on stage at the Spirit of Christmas. I got the spot, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even a year in and I'm doing this amazing thing.
Welcome to Coffee and Oysters, the London Business Babe podcast, where we get you together with business tips that actually work and let you know where it's worth tapping your oyster around the city. My name is Frances Adair Matthews. I am a certified Notion consultant and founder of the Notion Bar, where I get my clients together with personalized productivity tips built in Notion. Never fear for my systems loving girlies. Every month I host the Big Notion Energy Academy, where we go over latest releases and your burning questions. Details in the show notes. It's an exciting time. Really excited for this episode. I filmed it earlier. So much fun. How are things going for me business-wise? Well, earlier you just heard me talk about the Big Notion Energy Academy that I host every month. And this truly is the thing that I want to scale in my business more and more. And I'm doing a better job of promoting it. That's one thing I'm proud of. I'm posting my newsletter consistently, which means I'm also promoting the event consistently. And another thing I'm doing is that every time I meet someone out and about, I invite them to come along for free. Same thing with existing clients. Like, I don't know what it was before that was stopping me from talking about it, even though this is the thing that I actually want to do. I think it was more of a lack of confidence more than anything. Slowly, I'm starting to see things grow. So yeah, I think that's something I'm proud of this week. London-wise, I've been trying to make more of an effort to get out and about and just do fun things. I actually spent the evening yesterday in Camden, which was eventful. Well, actually non-eventful. Everything we wanted to go to either had a private event running or was closed, which was kind of annoying, but it was a cool area. Things that we will go back to when they are open and running are the Blues Kitchen, do £6 cocktails every Wednesday, which is cool, but we didn't stay because the music starts at 10. And before that, we were supposed to go to the Vibe Village open mic night, which is basically they get R&B singers down for the open mic, and all of the TikToks looked really good, so we thought we'd go along, but there was a private event. Two things we're really excited to go back to, but alas, yesterday was not the day. But without further ado, super excited, and let's jump into today's episode.
Hey London Business Babe. This community is built for us and by us to ungatekeep your next move and life in the city. If you never want to miss out, subscribe to the Substack, where episodes will land straight in your inbox. Plus, every other Monday, you'll get a chance to feature on the show by shouting yourself out in the Manifest Monday email. You never know who's listening. Details in the show notes. Now, grab a cup of coffee or your favorite beverage and let's get into today's interview.
Super excited for today's episode. Today I have Louise Duncum, who runs Weiz Styles as a London-based personal stylist and colour expert, helping ambitious women elevate their style and with a decade of experience in fashion design. Louise now empowers women to align their image with their goals, offering practical style advice through personalized one-to-one styling sessions, engaging workshops, and inspiring events. Welcome to the show. How's it going?
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here and chat with you today.
I love what you do. It's so cool. I feel like style is such a personal thing, but it's impactful. I'm really excited to dig into how you help people. I think we could all use a little bit of help sometimes.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes we just need a bit of a sprinkling of styling help to get us through our days with a bit more confidence. That's what I'm here to help with.
Amazing. But you started out in fashion design, right? For like big high street retailers. Tell us that journey and how it inspired you to move into what you do now.
I did my degree in fashion design at Nottingham Trent. Throughout that time, I always knew that I wanted to be in more commercial design rather than the extravagant designs on the catwalk. As I felt, what do real people actually wear rather than the concepts at the start. I was really lucky to get my graduate job at Next. I started in Leicester for a few years, and that kind of just was the most amazing way to kickstart my career in the fashion industry, in the design world. And yeah, I absolutely loved it there. It was a great place to work. But yeah, then things changed throughout a career. Like lots of people, I'm sure, have a similar journey, and things may have started amazingly, but unfortunately they didn't carry on that way. So it's been a roller coaster to get to where I am now. After 10 years working for several different high street brands, I lost a job in lockdown and decided to pivot, and I did a bit of styling to an Instagram account which is called Louise Wears, and I spent
It's very good.
Exactly. I thought it was quite a good name at the time. I spent a year and a half every single day posting my outfit of the day. That then spurred me on to this different realm of, rather than designing the clothes, to actually style the clothes. And that's when Weiz Styles was born.
Amazing. Do you think you'd ever want to go back into designing, or is this your new path?
This is my new path. I hate to, I never say never, but at this point, I actually will say never. So let's say no. I've done that. I've done my time in that. And whilst it was an amazing journey, I'm not looking back. I'm looking forwards.
Amazing. So how do you translate that knowledge of designing for many people, or what you think most people would want to wear? How do you switch that mindset to helping someone create their personal style and have it being really personal?
Yeah, so this is something I noticed right at the start of my business, because most when I was designing the clothes, you're not thinking about one specific person and all their needs and differences. You're thinking about a broad scope of people. When it comes to one individual, that's when you can really dig deep and start to get to know all their quirks and all the little bits that they like, what suits them, whether that's from different parts of their body they want to show off, or different colours that suit them, areas of their personality that they want to express through what they wear. You can't just put one t-shirt over here and make that work for thousands of people. In a sense it can, but it's how you piece that t-shirt into making it work for each individual. That's where I find a lot of joy and fun in what I do.
Who are the kind of people who come to you?
So there's a mixture, really. I started off kind of being focused on maybe new mums. One of my best friends at the time has just been pregnant, and she was like, I think this would be a great target market for you. And I was like, that sounds perfect. If I've already got someone that has a need for me and thinks other people will need me, then I'll go into that. But unfortunately, that didn't work. I don't have children. I couldn't quite relate to it. I didn't understand just someone that had already been through that. I thought, I'm kind of shouting out into something that I don't fully understand. So then I had to pivot a little bit, and I thought, what's the best thing that I could pivot to that I really understand? And I thought someone that's maybe ambitious, working their way up the career ladder that I'd already experienced and achieved, but also those other people that are starting businesses, achieving their goals, doing things, showing up, and needing to feel that sense of elevation through what they're wearing. So that's when I pivoted into corporate women and female founders.
Yeah, I feel like business wear is, for a very long time, business wear has always meant just one thing. You wear a skirt suit or an ill-fitting pair of trousers and a jumper or something.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people become comfortable in that, I guess, because it's just like, I guess this is what I wear. How do you maybe encourage people to go outside of their comfort zones and try something new?
Yeah, well, you're completely right in your observation, because it is very much a sea of the same thing. And that's the same thing in terms of actual piece, from the blazer to the pencil skirt, but also from the colours. It's very much black, white, navy, grey, and there's no colour injected into any of these outfits. That's where I come in to make those changes for people. Even if you are in a corporate office and you have a dress code, that doesn't mean you can't add colour, and that doesn't mean you have to wear the same thing that everyone else is wearing. And it's how to make those little tweaks through that formal smart wear for your office that actually make it completely unique and make you feel, actually, I can stand up tall. I can make this presentation really amazing because I feel authentic and empowered. Even going into leadership roles, a lot of people come to me and say, I'm just going into a senior role, but I need to feel like I'm meant to be in this role. It's that kind of feeling that your clothes give you that helps in that kind of corporate sense, but also in the business sense as well.
What are those little tweaks that you suggest?
Yeah, so again, it's personal depending what each individual feels comfortable with. One of my main top tips that I always share is to always make sure you're feeling comfortable. If you're wearing a pencil skirt, for instance, and you're feeling too restricted, it doesn't feel like, oh, I can move around freely or whatever, then that's a great one to say, actually, if I'm not comfortable, just because it ticks this box of being corporate wear, it doesn't actually serve you. So always make sure something's comfortable. My other one is adding some sort of pop of red. And this could be for women. For men, it could be in a tie or some sort of pocket square. Or for women, it could be a pop of lipstick, maybe a lovely satin scarf or a red shirt. It doesn't have to be head to toe, but that colour of red is going to give you that impact, confidence. And that's one thing that I always do with my clients, how to weave in colour psychology into everything that they're doing in that corporate setting. So we get away from the black, white, navy, grey situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, so do you style men as well?
I don't at the moment. It's perhaps it might be on the horizon, but at the moment I'm sticking with women as that's where my expertise lies currently.
Do you have any cool transformation moments or anything that stood out into this work?
Things that I never thought I could achieve. There's been a lot of things that at the start of my journey, I looked at other people and I thought, wow, in 10 years' time, I hope to be able to do just a fraction of what some of these other people have achieved. But in the past 2 years of having my business, I realised I have actually achieved. I think it's just that self-belief, the courage, and just kind of getting out there and doing things that might scare you and feel like you just apply for them before you feel ready and then you have to do it, if that makes sense. One of my biggest ones was last year when I wasn't even a year into my business. I applied to speak on stage at the Spirit of Christmas, which is a big Christmas fair at the Olympia. And I thought, I've seen someone up there before. I think I can do it, but let's just put the word out and see what happens. And I got the spot. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not even a year in and I'm doing this amazing thing. So it's just kind of having that faith in yourself. If you want to do something, if you have a dream or an ambition or something you want, like a bucket list thing to do in your business, like why not try and make it happen at the start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, confidence compounds, as
Exactly.
they say. And it's just you as well. You are a one-woman
Yes.
band. How do you juggle it all?
Well, that's a great question. I think that is still something I'm learning at the moment, and I'll be continuously learning throughout my business journey. It is hard. There are so many hats to wear. I remember at the start of my business, when I launched my website, I was like, I'm ready for the influx of people come to me. And then I was like, oh, hang on a second. I need to do the social media, work out my accounts and do all these other things you don't realize at the start. So it's a lot of juggling, a lot of balancing. But I think for me now, having had 2 years in my journey, it's actually realizing that, you know, burning the candle at starting at 8 a.m. and finishing at 10 or 11 in the evening isn't going to be the best recipe for success. And sometimes, of course, I still have to do that. But I think having that rest in between and doing things that I love to do outside of my business is as important as it is to do the things within my business, and it makes it easier to do them. So it's a lot to balance, but it's getting that work-life balance in place that's been really important.
I completely know what you mean.
Isn't it?
I've recently started playing netball on a Wednesday.
Amazing.
Before I told myself, I'm like, no, like I should save my evenings because a client might book in.
Yeah.
You know, and until it got to the point where I was like, you know what, I actually really miss playing football. I'm gonna carve out my Wednesday evenings.
Yeah.
For me, it's been the world hasn't ended, and I feel more like myself because of it. If anything, my business is doing even better.
Exactly, because you've got a bit of that sparkle back in something that you love, and it then ripples into the other parts of your life. So I think it's great.
Have you made any special time for things like that?
I think one of the main things, and some of the guilty pleasures of things like, you know, it's just being able to maybe have a little bit of a session on Netflix and be like, oh, I love to binge watch a little series over here. Or maybe it's catching up with my friends or family and going for a nice dinner somewhere. It's allowing myself to do that and thinking like, yes, I might have a weekend available. Should I use that for myself or should I use that on my business? And sometimes I should use it for myself. So it's nice to be able to have the choice. And that's one thing I also love about being a business owner. I think back of why I started my business in terms of what I want from it as a benefit for me. And that's to be able to choose what time I do things, to see people and when I can take a day off. Like, I don't have to ask anyone. I can choose that. And if I look at that first year, I definitely didn't do that. I let the business rule me. So now it's like I can rule the business more.
Well, that is a good takeaway from this episode.
Yeah,
Rule the business, don't let the business rule.
exactly. Yeah.
What would you say was the biggest learning curve for you, and how did you overcome?
Yeah. Similar to what I just said about balancing everything. Another big thing for me throughout my whole journey is realizing to trust myself and be as authentic as possible. There's a lot of other people in my industry that do what I do, and we all have very specific strengths or things that make us different within that. I know that my background as a clothing designer for 10 years for high street brands is an amazing thing that makes me a bit different to lots of other personal stylists. And also, being me, there is no one else that has the exact same experience as me. So hopefully, if I use my voice and talk about my values and the things that I love, I feel passionate about, then hopefully that will attract the right people, enough space for us all. I'm very much an advocate of cheering other people on. There's no point of thinking, oh my gosh, I can't believe she got that over me. Like, oh no, that's amazing. Let's celebrate you. And then when it's my turn, hopefully they'll celebrate me as well. It's that competition piece, but also the piece of being authentic. And I think that hopefully shines through in what I do.
Yeah, it's so true. Aberdessy, who was the first guest, he always talks about creating a Marmite business.
Yeah.
Because you have to be so aggressively yourself, because then you deter the people who you don't want to work with.
Yeah.
And who are draining the energy out of you.
Yes,
essentially.
exactly. It's true.
What was it like getting first client? What was that process for you?
It was a lot of consistency of showing up on social media and really talking about the transformation that I was hoping people would receive from me, but also what I was doing and how I got to where I am. Having worked with a couple of coaches over the last few years, only took 2 months for me to get my first paid client.
Nice.
A lot of people say like that sometimes it's quite hard to get that first one in. But then once you've got it, it's like a cloud nine. I think I actually cried when the first one came in. We work so hard to do all this stuff. And then when someone finally recognizes it and then they're giving you their money, hard-earned money, it feels like such a privilege that they're trusting me with this journey. And I don't cry every time I get a client now, but I do feel a very big sense of pride and excitement for what I hopefully can achieve for them. It's such an honor that someone trusts me on this journey and they're choosing me. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question.
Absolutely. And how has your way of working with clients changed since you started, if it has?
Yeah, it has a little bit, well, actually a lot. And this still happens today. Every client I have and I work with, a new kind of element of how I deliver something will be added in. And over the past 2 years, I think it's been great for me to keep adding and tweaking and making things even better. I can thank my clients for giving me inspiration along the way. Another big thing that I started maybe 6 months ago at the start of this year was I've added in a kind of digital wardrobe app, which has literally amplified everything. When I do a wardrobe edit, I can take pictures of every single piece that my lovely client owns and then style it into flat lay outfits. So they can go into their own digital wardrobe app and they can choose. They might say, oh, I've got this amazing skirt that I want to wear today, but I've forgotten how to style it. So they can click on the skirt and there'll be at least 3 different ways they can style it. That has propelled everything because now it's such an easy touch point. You're not opening a wardrobe and like looking through your laptop trying to find the picture of something I've set up for them previously. It's just made everything a lot more streamlined. When I find something for them online, they can just buy it at the tap of a button without having to send. So it's really just elevated everything. And I think that's been an amazing addition to my business.
So do you go into your clients' homes and take pictures of everything? Wow. Okay. So this is like hands-on.
It is hands-on. And that's why I feel honoured when people choose to work with me, because it is a very personal process. To allow someone in, and a lot of people feel quite vulnerable about what they wear. I do go into their home, I take everything out their wardrobe, style all the pieces that are staying, and everything that isn't will be repurposed in some way.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Obsessed. I love any kind of organization transformation process. I feel like it goes across so many different practices
Yeah.
as well. It's quite similar to the process that I do with my clients, digitalization
Yeah,
and digital styling.
exactly.
But it's also like shows like, I don't know if you've seen Sort Life Out with Stacey Solomon on iPlayer.
Oh no, I
It's so
haven't.
good.
Maybe I need
It's
to have a
so
look.
good. It's like a similar thing. They go into people, but more for like home organization.
Okay.
So they bring out everything that's in the house, put it in a giant warehouse. The family has to get rid of more than 50% of
Oh,
what is in the warehouse. It's such a satisfying process.
wow. It must feel so refreshed afterwards. It's like a whole new home.
How do you deal with the like sentimental pieces that people are like, I really love this thing, and they just
There's a couple of ways to deal with those. The first one is, can we alter it in some way to make it work? Does it need to be taken in? Does it need to be taken up? What needs to happen to it to make it work better? If there's nothing that can be done, can we tuck it away somewhere so it's not distracting you from your actual wardrobe? If you need to look at it, you can bring it out and still have that sentimental piece. If it's not serving you on a day-to-day basis, then just tuck it away. Keep it in storage.
Do you work mainly one-to-one with clients? Would you also have group packages? Like, how does that work for you? And
Yeah.
what percentage do they take up of?
So generally with my kind of signature package, that's an intensive one-to-one journey. Everything from the style foundations, including color analysis, body shape and style personality, to the wardrobe and personal shopping with lots of feedback, lots of back and forth pictures, really making sure everything's working. So that's my intense core package, one-to-one. And then color analysis is included in that, but it's also a great one that people want to do as just a one-off. And that is something you can do in small groups, or you can do it as a one-to-one thing, or just, I get quite a lot of sisters or mother and daughters come together, like a fun girly day out. So yeah, it completely depends, but that's a really lovely one-off thing. And I've also started delivering color analysis at events as well. Yes, I was recently brought in to a very big wardrobe pop-up, New Bond Street, and I was brought in to do back-to-back colour sessions for the day as a lovely extra for the people that were shopping the new collection. So again, that's a great one that can be even added into corporate settings as well.
Is there anything you're excited to span?
I mean, that corporate world,
Okay.
I've got a couple of very exciting events coming up with kind of bucket list brands I've been thinking about working with for a long time. That's
Nice.
similar, thinking about actually, yeah, I could go to a court and deliver this as a lovely incentive for the team to have as a little perk. So yeah, that's something that's on my radar.
And do you feel like having a history working in corporate fashion has helped in terms of existing networks and finding people who know people?
I feel like it's been a blessing and a curse.
Okay.
Because I feel like quite a few people that kind of pivot into becoming a personal stylist have potentially a completely different career, but a passion in the subject. And then they might have a lot of clients that come to them from their previous career. But having worked in the fashion industry and been surrounded by people that are stylish and very into fashion, I haven't had any of that from my network. That makes sense, because they're not the people that would necessarily be after my support.
Yeah.
So I've found it almost like starting from scratch in that sense.
What's something that you feel like moves the needle for you? Could be weird, could be normal.
And the biggest thing is collaboration, really. I think when you come together with other businesses and think outside the box a little bit, this is what I started to do more and more, is thinking, yes, there's some things that might seem very obvious for me to connect with, like a makeup artist, for instance. Easy, like connection. But when I start thinking outside the box, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's so many opportunities, whether it's color related or whether it's style, body shape, like personal brand building. There's so much out there. And that collaboration aspect is something that really moves the needles, because you're bringing two audiences together, sharing for people that might not even have thought about what you were before. It really helps and works.
I love those kind of, I call them diagonal connections. So
Yeah.
it's like people in your same field, or the same level as you, but it's just like, there's opportunity everywhere.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Like, Even I feel like a lot of companies are starting to adopt a unit. Like I can think of Notion as an example. They have these jackets
Oh, yeah.
that employees wear. But how do you style that?
Yeah.
Maybe people need help with that kind of.
Oh, absolutely. I'll have to get in touch and ask.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. You see.
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely
But
going to have a look.
so, did you always want to be in fashion, or what did you want to be when you grew up as a kid?
I feel like this is going to be one of those cliche answers, but yes, I did. I think even from when I was at school, I always looked at people that had the coolest hoodies, really cool hoodie. It could have been a different color with a different slogan. It was very varsity vibes, which I guess makes sense for school. But I remember always thinking whoever came in with the coolest hoodie every week, I would be like, oh, I love that. And then it just, from that kind of spiraled, I would draw random outfits and all this stuff. I always wanted to be in the fashion industry. I just didn't know in which sense. So yeah, I knew from very early on that that's what I wanted to do.
If you could say anything to mini Louise, what would it be?
Oh, don't let people take your dream away along the journey, because unfortunately, and I'm sure lots of people go to at this, there are people that kind of try and dampen your spirit and make you feel like you're not good enough. We're all good enough if we put our minds to it and we're passionate about something, we want to make it work. So I would say just to keep on going. And yes, it's going to be a roller coaster, but it'll be worth the ride.
Hope you're enjoying the show. We'd love to hear what you're thinking. Drop a comment and share your thoughts. Even better, if you're loving the show, take 2 seconds to rate us 5 stars wherever you get your podcast. It really helps other people find us. And if you want to be a guest, details in the show notes on how to sign up. Now, let's jump back in.
Thank you so much for taking us on your business journey. I don't know about anyone else listening to this, but I feel very motivated.
Oh, good. Thanks. I have also come back from a week's holiday, so I'm feeling very refreshed and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm ready for action. Got me at a good time.
Where did you go?
I went off to Crete for a week, end of summer holiday, and it was lovely. Did you get any holidays this summer?
I went to Lisbon, but more like peak summer
Amazing.
time.
Oh, I
so
love
it was very-
Lisbon. The great city.
One thing about Lisbon is that it makes me want to dress up more.
Oh, there we go.
I feel like sometimes London isn't pretty enough to inspire me to wear the outfits that I want to wear.
The weather is so unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen.
Exactly. But yeah, let's move on to things that bring you joy. I always like to start this section off with music. Do you have any walk-up songs or songs that just get you hyped for the day?
Yeah. Well, I do have a specific song in mind, but I have to give a broad section as well. Anything by Celine Dion, I think she is just amazing. She's got one of those voices that whoever tries to sing can't quite match. And as much as I've tried myself, it doesn't quite turn out the same way. But she just feels like such a powerhouse. When I hear any of her songs, I am like, I'm ready for action. I think there is one called Make You Happy, which I feel it's not one of her top singles. It's on an album, but I feel like that's a very good one to make you feel motivated and empowered for a day.
I will definitely have to look that up. One of my favorite Celine Dion songs is, I actually don't know if this is the name of it, but like It's All Coming Back to Me Now.
Yeah, that's great.
Like the dynamics in that song, it's so
It's a powerful one.
amazing. And so, do you have any solid personal policies that keep you grounded?
Being a one-man band business owner can feel quite lonely. But when you find your community of people around you and you're able to talk openly about what it's like to be on this journey, then that feels like a really lovely thing to make you realize you're not alone. And I'm also super lucky that my boyfriend is also starting up a business and he's on his fundraising. So for both of us to be in completely different sectors along this journey together, it feels like we know and we can relate to each other on that journey. And it feels great to be able to talk to each other on that.
Yeah, I completely understand. I also have a creative partner. It's just like if you need to go off into a hole for a few hours, do it.
Do it. Yeah. And it feels like the sacrifices you make along the journey, when you're both aligned in that together, it makes it feel a lot easier. So yeah, I'm glad to have that.
And so an interesting one I always ask people, style. So you are literally a stylist. How would you describe your personal uniform if you have?
One of the things I do on the style journey at the very start is unpick the style personality. Mine is classic as the core, but it's got a creative side to it. So I love wearing the traditional classic pieces, whether that's a shirt tucked into jeans with a nice belt and then a trench coat. But where can I add in the colour? Maybe I'd add in a bright red jumper over the top as a scarf, or maybe I'd wear a flamboyant print on a shirt dress rather than just a basic neutral colour. So it's mixing those two bits together to make it classic but creative.
Are there any brands that you're loving at the moment?
One of my favourite brands is Rixo, and I just love, they've got great prints, lovely shapes, very feminine, great fabrics. And I also love Farm Rio, the pieces over the summer, and they are so fun and they've got such intricate details. Even just a strap that has lovely detail and lace, every bit is like considered. But they've got great feminine shapes, but then it's that fun, creative side to it that I love. So yeah, both those are top favourites.
Amazing. Yeah, I think they just did a collab with Barber.
Oh yeah.
The jacket people. And I was like, oh, that's like, I wouldn't expect that, but it was really cool.
I think Ganni did a collab with Barber. So it might be that. But I'll have to check if it's Farm Rio. Maybe it was.
It was very flamboyant and very Farm Rio-esque.
Wow. I need to go and have a look.
How do you feel about trends in general? Do you like to hop onto trends? Are you more like, this is...
So I have a very controversial opinion on trends. Is not in keeping with what other stylists would say. But from my design background, trends were a huge part of that. I absolutely love trends. They are great ways of injecting newness to make people feel like, oh yeah, I've got a little bit of something extra for this season that makes me feel empowered on top of my other wardrobe. The main difference about that is knowing which trends suit you. If you're buying a trend because someone else is wearing it and they look great in it, and then you buy it and feel deflated when you wear it, that is not the right way to consume and buy a trend. But I love it when people understand that style personality and what suits them, their body shape, their colouring, and then they buy the trend because they know it works for them. And that's why I would love a trend. I absolutely love them.
Are there any trends you're like, oh, I might hop into that?
Yeah, so right now there's a lot of lacy details. So I'm loving the fact that traditionally a lace dress would be a very formal, fancy event situation that you'd wear. But I love now that it's kind of a casual detail. So you might have a little silk lace cami top layered with something over the top, like a fluffy, chunky knit. And it's that little pop of lace coming out that makes it look a bit different. I think that's really cool. There's so many trends. I feel like I could talk about trends for ages, but that's a nice one, I think, for the autumn, winter.
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, it's the little triangle scarves I'm seeing more and more at the moment. I'm just like, oh, that's actually quite fun and favourite.
Yeah.
I'm also on the fence because I'm like, that looks cute, but also, is that warm?
Is it warm? Do you think you're going to invest or maybe try one out?
Yeah, I might try find one vintage or something.
Yes.
As a first step into it and see if I
my top tip with that is if you can find 3 different ways to make it work, then you're more likely to wear it. Hopefully, think about those 3 different ways.
Okay, that is very good to know.
That's okay.
Do you have any hero beauty products that you swear by?
Yeah, so I've got a couple of bits. And again, I think one of the main thing is after I found out my colour season, and it's just the small tweaks you make within your makeup, not just your clothing as well. For me, as a warm skin tone, I wouldn't suit anything in black. So I switched my mascara to be brown, and it's just the small tweaks like that. So brown mascara is top of my list. And also for the same reason, blusher. I always used to wear pink blusher. And I always thought, why is this not suiting me? It just doesn't work for my skin tone because I'm not a full season. Adding a more orangey coral colour has completely transformed my makeup. And the mascara now are my go-tos. Plus a nice little pop of red lipstick.
Any brands that you're loving?
Ooh, there's so many brands out there. I'm trying to think. When you think about it, I cannot remember any of them, but I will have a think. I'll get back to you.
All good, all good. And how about on the tech side? You talked about this digital wardrobe app before. What's the name of that? And then are there any other apps that you love that help keep you productive?
Yeah, so the wardrobe app is through a business called Hue and Stripe. They are American based and yeah, they've developed this technology over the quite a while it's been now. So yeah, and it keeps improving month by month. So Hue and Stripe for the digital wardrobe app, and they work with a variety of different stylists across Europe and America. So there's lots of brands. Again, when I mentioned earlier that I can give people the finds, so if I find something online for someone and I can pop it into their finds from an array of brands across the US and Europe. In terms of kind of my day-to-day things that I use in kind of my business, I use Flowdesk for my weekly newsletter, which I absolutely love because it feels a bit more creative. It feels like I can add in a pop of colour, images from someone that's a bit more creative.
Yeah.
Feels a bit nicer to use and deliver. Also, I use Canva a lot. I'm creating flat layout for ideas, putting my branding together in Instagram posts. As far as technology goes, I'm not very good at using it. So those feel quite easy, which I think is good. But I would love to learn to use Notion. So I feel like I need to pick your brains on this.
Come on down. I run a monthly academy
Okay.
where we go over new releases and answer the group questions, trying to get more people involved. Music. Do you listen to anything to help you be a better business person or read anything?
Yeah. Listen, there's a podcast called Ladies Who Launch. I think it's by
Yes.
I've listened to quite a few of those episodes and I always feel super inspired by those, which I think is useful, but it also feels like it's very much the people that are at the top of their game. So it's nice to hear a journey of them. Of course, I love the Coffee and Oysters podcast as well.
Obviously.
I love listening to all the other, especially in London. There's a lot of women in business, listening to all their stories. And when you listen to them, you don't realise when you're off networking, you don't necessarily hear in depth all the stuff that's happened on their journey. So I love listening to those as well.
Thank you. Yeah, that was the whole point of starting this, to be honest. I feel very validated.
Well, there we go. It's good. It's true.
Thank you very much. That's been great to get like a insight into all of your topics, I suppose. All of your choices will be in your profile page in the Coffee and Oysters guide for anyone to kind of flick through. So don't worry if you haven't remembered it all.
It's lots of notes.
So hey again. Did you know there are roughly 100,000 London business babes out there? And we're on a mission to reach as many as possible. Enjoying what you hear? To support the hours of work that goes into making this special, you can either A, consider supporting directly as a paid monthly Substack subscriber to also unlock future exclusive content for less than a coffee and a croissant. B, any brands listening? We'd love to explore ways for you to be part of the journey. C, at the very least, on your next co-working date, tell a fellow London business babe about us. Details in the show notes. Now let's jump back in.
Now let's move on to your Londons. Where are you based?
I'm in Southwest, so I'm in Wandsworth.
Opposite side to me. I sadly don't make it there very much. South London is so inefficient.
I know it's tricky to get around sometimes. You have to get the bus, the tube, the overground, but sometimes it can be super easy.
Yeah.
Depends.
Do you have anything on your London bucket list?
Oh, I feel like on my bucket list, it's a very fancy one, but I thought, why not go all out with this? I'd love to do some sort of afternoon tea or lunch or supper at the Ritz. It's like one of those amazing bucket list things to do. I've been very lucky to go there for drinks, but I've never properly eaten, so I'd love to do that.
Anyone working at the Ritz listening to this, please hit up Louise.
Yes. No.
Maybe you can do a style event there or something.
I mean, if they'd
Would
like
work.
that, I am pleased. Come on in.
Amazing. Let's dive into the spots that you love. What are your favorite places to eat in the city?
So just to make things even more tricky, I have a really bad nut allergy and my partner is celiac. So together we are perfect, I guess. And to go out and eat in places in London sometimes feels like a lot of effort. But there is a place called Paladar, which is like Latin American, that is totally safe for celiac and nut allergy. And the food is amazing. That one is up there on our top list of places we'd go to. So yeah, I recommend it.
I feel you as also a high allergy. It's just
It's
oh
true.
gosh. A lot of my friends are celiac, so I have nuts, mushrooms, and shellfish, and then I also have a lot of friends who are celiac and dairy free.
Oh,
So
yes.
it's like going out to eat. It's just like, well,
Oh yeah.
like
Well,
salad, anyone?
not salad, I know. Well, actually, just to give my boyfriend a little bit of a plug, he is starting a gluten-free fast food chain that's going to be completely nut-free and everything can be made dairy-free.
Okay.
And you have more options for us all to eat on the go safely.
Oh, that is gonna blow.
Yeah, hopefully.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool. How about cafe scene? Are you into that at all? Do you have any favorite cafes?
Yeah, so around Southwest London, there's a lot of Megans. And I feel like when you are working and you've got your laptop and you want to get out of the house doing stuff, I feel like going to one of the Megans is one of our go-to spots. There's one in Wandsworth Town, Clapham. I feel like they're all around this area. So it's really nice to choose which one we want to go to.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean. I think there's one in Dulwich Village I've been to. It's really good. Is it like Mediterranean stuff?
And they do.
Yeah.
They've got a happy hour. Close your laptop. You can have a little drink if you'd like. It feels like a good spot to be for from day to night. Yes.
And then I feel like London is sort of the home of communities and members clubs, co-working clubs. Are there any groups that you want to shout out that have really helped you, community?
At the very start of my business journey, for the past 2 years, I've been part of Found and Flourish, which is based in Brighton, but they have a lot of stuff that comes into London. And that's been a great one. I know Lara that runs it. She's just such a lovely lady. So it's been really nice to have that supportive community around me. Recently, actually, in Clapham Junction, which is super close to me, there is a members club on the top of where the old Debenhams used to be. It's called the Arding Rooms. It feels like Clapham Junction is levelling up a bit to have this. And it's an amazing space with office side and then a lovely dinner and drink side. I think that that's going to be an amazing space to be. My four-colour event there. So it feels like that's helped me on my business journey too. That's a nice one.
Amazing. Yeah, it's always good to know different spots around the city, especially if you're in a bit of London you're not usually in.
Exactly.
Found and Flourish are actually one of my first ever Notion workshop clients.
Oh.
So my workshop might still be kicking around beyond.
There we go. There we need to have a look.
Don't worry if it's a lot to take in. All of the amazing tools, spots, and recommendations mentioned by our guests can be found in the Coffee and Oysters guide. Details in the show notes.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for giving us your little guide to London. Now to wrap up with a few questions. What's a recent win that you want to celebrate, and also a recent win of someone else's that you want to celebrate?
Yeah. So a recent win of someone else's I'll start with. But in Wandsworth, there was the Wandsworth Business Awards, and I was at one of the celebrations and I met a wonderful lady called Femke. She is well into the journey of having her business, and it's called the Merry-Go-Round, and is for mums who are looking at getting all the equipment that comes with being a new mum. Again, this is not something I can speak of with my experience, but hopefully in the future I will definitely be using her services. She basically rents equipment you might need for when you're having a child, whether that's your first, second, third, whatever it might be. It's a much more sustainable way to rent it out and give it back when you don't need it anymore. But also it keeps the costs down. So many families, when they're starting out or having children, it can be such an expensive process. You might buy a pram, use it for several months, and then you don't have anywhere to store it. So that kind of takes all that away. I know that she's doing amazing things, and I just really wanted to shout her out. So Femke Harris from the Merry-Go-Round. hopefully. She's an amazing lady, and now I'm glad to say she's become a friend. From my own side, something that has literally launched this week, I have been chosen as one of the 5 female founders for this year's She Leads campaign. So it's hopefully going to be a kind of inspiration for women on their journey throughout business, but also from my insights of it, from styling and colour point of view. So that's been a big thing that I wasn't expecting to happen in year 2 of business. To be chosen for that feels like a really big achievement.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Thanks.
Very cool. It sounds like you're really good at putting yourself forward for things, which is one thing that I've picked up on just in this conversation. So
Yeah, keep
doing
that. Thank you. Yeah, I'll try. I'll keep going.
And I haven't asked this question before to anyone. I think I'm going to start asking it. What's one dream you have for your business? Dream big. Could be anything.
This is a tricky one. I feel like I would love for there to be a more accessible hub for people to get styling advice. I know from my side, it feels like more of a premium offer that people have to think about investing in, but I'd love to make that more accessible for everyone. So finding a way to make that could be a big one. I was very glad to be involved with SmartWorks, the charity, for over a year, volunteering to help women that are looking for work find their interview outfits. Maybe just a version of that, I guess, that's more accessible.
And then finally, is there anything you would like to plug? And is there anything that you need help with? I always like to say, you never know who's listening.
Exactly. Well, obviously, if there's anyone out there that would like to collaborate on anything, I'm a very big fan and advocate of collaborating. So get in touch. And also anyone that might be looking for a bit of style help or inspiration, Weiz Styles on Instagram, but also if you need some help from anything that I've spoken about today, then of course get in touch and hopefully we can start your style journey.
Is there anything you need help?
I need help with that collaboration piece again, just finding people to be coming together more often.
Okay, amazing. And potential corporate.
Yeah, well,
collaborations
I
that
would
you're talking about
absolutely.
there.
So if there's anyone out there that thinks it would be great, even if it's like an away day for people, something where I'm doing a little style surgery and people drop in and out for some help, one-on-one help, or in a group setting, I'm your lady.
I just had an idea.
Oh, go on.
There are a lot of those self-portrait studios
Oh, yes.
at the moment. Candid Studios is one of the ones that pops to mind. I feel like an issue some people have is, what do I wear for taking this headshot?
It's funny you should say this, and you can have an exclusive of it, but we are collaborating later this year.
Oh, that's so cool. Love it.
I'm glad you think it's a good idea.
They may be using you. So oh, I love that.
Oh,
Hey, well, thank you. This has been an absolute pleasure.
Thanks for listening. Get in touch at coffeeandoysters@gmail.com. Stay connected at Coffee and Oysters Pod on TikTok and Instagram. And never miss out by subscribing to Substack. Details in the show notes. And most importantly, keep those 5-star ratings coming and see you next time.